Yo, what's going on? So Zaki coming at you, but instead today I'm coming to you as Master Zaki because we're talking about data, right? So I've really enjoyed Mal, my anime list, as you guys know. And if finding Mal was to me like finding God, like finding religion, then this website, anime.plus, is like finding the holy grail of that religion, okay? So this has just advanced user statistics for your anime list, and I thought it'd be fun to just go through a little analysis for all of our friends here. So you can see I have lined up first the band. I have Joey, Danny, and Eddie. Then I have Connor and Joe Muska, and then Kevin Lopez last. I have also, looked through some people like Ian and Inez, for example, and Via all have sizable lists, but they've rated, I think, less than 10 shows each, so there's not as much advanced statistics to do on that. So, without further ado, here we go. Right off the bat, there's something really strange here. Do you see my mean score is 6.73, which says it's 0.14 higher than the global mean. Now look at Connor's 6.77. So, like, we both have 6.7 as our mean score, but mine is 0.14 off. 6.7. Connor's is zero point 0.5 off. Like the bar literally moves too. Like I don't know if you could see it going between like Connor and Danny's profiles. That little tiny black bar is moving. So maybe it means for the shows that we have rated how different our mean score is. Like maybe this is the mean for only the shows on our list. I'm not quite sure. I don't understand. So anyway, if I go through, I guess I'll go through everyone's profiles first. So yeah, you could see, I guess, the number of shows completed in different episodes. Like you could see, for example, some differences where I have 60 things completed, but only 1,000 episodes, right? So if I run a calculator, like one divided by 60 is about, yeah, my shows are 18 episodes on average. Now let's compare that with someone like Danny, who's watched almost 3,000 episodes, but for only 23 different shows, uh, divided by, yeah, so his are on average 126 episodes, so almost 10 times mine. But yeah, some people like longer shows, and obviously I don't. So not going at Danny's mean score of a little higher, but a lot of episodes per show, so long shows. Um, Eddie, yeah, kind of same thing, a bit higher of a mean score than the rest of us, so he likes what he's watching more than the rest of us. How lucky. Connor is about the same as mine, but with a few less shows and a few more episodes, so he watched more long stuff than I do. Like he's seen more anime than me, even though my number of completed stuff is doubled. Joe here has like, yeah, he's the front runner of this group where he's watched 111 things and 3,300 episodes. He also really enjoyed spending all of this time because his score is 8. Finally, Kevin here has watched a lot of Kevin likes a lot of movies, right? So a lot of these are going to be films that Kevin's rated, and you can see that he's got pretty close to like an average score of around 7. Yeah, like high sixes, low sevens is probably a good place to be. So anyway, as we move on to our anime list, there's not too much interesting stuff to see here. You can see for me, it's maybe one or two higher for these shows that I really liked. They were good already, and I thought they were great. And if you look all the way at the bottom, there's maybe some hot takes here and there. Let's see. Yeah, we'll sort by the greatest difference. But yeah, it's all my twos, threes, fours, stuff that people liked that I didn't, I guess. I'll pull up everyone's anime list real quick. Now you can see if I go, yeah, for difference for Joey, there's not really that much of a big difference for the stuff that he likes. For the stuff that he doesn't like, kind of same deal. There was someone I remember having like some hot takes, basically. Yeah, maybe that was with some other friends, but yeah, you can see here nothing too specific. Connor actually has some hot takes here. Like you can see the stuff he likes. It's already stuff that people like in general. Like My Hero give it a 9 instead of the average 8. That's the highest he goes up, but down you can see something like he really didn't like Bleach compared to others, and Goku Dolls got like a 3 lower. Same with like Tower of God and Beastars. Like Beastars down to 5. Like so he really hated this show that everyone else liked. One Piece as well. Shout out to Ian if you're watching this. So now Joe kind of goes the other way. You could see stuff that people thought was fine. Joe thought was really good in a lot of cases. So you could see like +3 over the average, +2.5 over the average. And as far as things that go a lot lower, I mean, except for Hitalia here and like a few, like really it doesn't go that far out. So Joe tends to like stuff more than average, whereas maybe Connor and a little bit of me dislike stuff more than average. And finally, Kevin, I haven't even taken a look at his. Let's see. So this looks like some kind of a series, basically. That's, a lot of these, and also the what is this? The cooking one. And but yeah, so here, like Neon Genesis Evangelion, he this, I don't know if it's a special or something, but he liked it way more than normal. Ponyo, he gave a 10, which is higher than normal. I actually first gave that a 4. I didn't like that movie when I saw it in like 2009 or 2011 or whenever it came out. Anyway, now we're going on to everyone's ratings, right? So this is the important part to me. Like, this is the exciting part of our analysis here, our little data adventure here. So this is giving us a really cool distribution showing like my distribution of scores. So I gave this many 10s, this many 9s, this many 8s, and so on. The dash is just to show that I haven't rated, where like, for example, there's like a movie I saw 10 years ago. I don't remember how much I liked it or not. Like, I'm like, maybe it's a 6, maybe it's like an 8, maybe it was like a 5. I can't really tell. So that's what I'm leaving unrated titles here. Is almost 10% actually. Interesting. Well, anyway, actually, let me just look up for you normal. This is something that'll come up a lot. So for a normal distribution, it's like the normal curve, right? Where like most of this stuff is going to be about average. There's some stuff that's going to be pretty good, some stuff that's kind of bad, and then some things are really exceptional, like that are at the far tail ends of the thing, and at the far tail ends over here. So this is important to me, kind of using the whole scale and the way that I like to do it. So you can see like most stuff is like 6, 7, 8, and then, a couple things are a 10, a couple things are a 1 or 2. But you can see this kind of a drop off. Like, if I thought something was a 4, maybe some of them should be 3s, but they're really not. I thought they were like reasonably below average, but they weren't horrendous, like 2, 3, 2, 1. Like, it was below average definitely, but it wasn't bad, it wasn't awful, and it wasn't like disgusting. I mean, except for these few. But yeah, so you can see it's pretty normal all in all. But I have some 7s that probably should be 6s, if we were to make this more of a normal distribution. And I thought that was kind of interesting. So first, there's like a lot of movies that I've rated around a 7, I noticed. For example, like Persona 3 has a 4-part movie thing of like just telling the whole game beginning to end. So it's like a series, but of movies. So if you were to say like the whole movie, there's like episodes of the movies, this would be only 1 7, but because it's all of them, it's like 4 7s. But I changed some of them now. I don't know if I updated this or not, but yeah, I thought those are some interesting things. Here you can see like the rating versus time spent, and this one is like horrendously skewed because like, I gave like Devilman Crybaby like 12 episodes. Yeah, it was a 7. That was good. I liked it. But then I gave Pokemon a 7. Like, yeah, I liked it. And you can see now like all 250 something episodes of Pokemon. And yeah, something else for me, you might, I expect myself, or my friends know, I don't like shows that are too long, but I also don't watch shows that are too long. Like the only ones here, there's literally 3, but it's like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and maybe something else. Something that I dropped even that has over 100 episodes. So that's it. Right, now let's take a look. So Joey's is pretty normal as well, like close to this normal distribution, like this curve, which should be, I don't know if they have a sideways one somewhere, but you get the point. It gets up towards the middle and goes back down. That's mine. But you can see here, there's like, maybe Joey has some shows that he really thinks would be a 9 or 10, but is a little shy to give those ratings, which is a good way to go. You can see his like 9s or 10s at least match his, 2s and 3s, like closer to his 2, 3, 4s down here. But yeah, a lot of 8s. That means there's a lot of stuff that he's liked a lot, but it wasn't excellent or a true masterpiece or anything. So yeah, doing even better than me, where I'm watching a lot of stuff more towards the middle. Like you can see what percentage of 6s and 7s I have: 10%, 25%. Over here, I mean, I guess it's about the same, but having this many 8s. I mean, Joy, I guess, has even less 5s than me, less 4s than me. All right, well, I'm watching the wrong shit, I guess. Next, we have Danny, who is very normal, but only around the top end of the graph. Which, we kind of go back and forth as me and Joey have talked at wit's end about the statistics about this website. So, on one hand, I think it's important to have like a normal distribution to say like, if this is the worst show that I've seen, then it's a 1. If this is the best show, then it's a 10, and everything falls between those, right? But at the same time, like, people are only going to watch stuff that they like, Like, if I hate slice of life shows, for example, I'm not going to go and search out slice of life shows and then watch slice of life shows and then rate them poorly. Like, I wouldn't do that. I like game theory and like mystery, let's say. So I'm going to look out these shows that I think I'll really like, and then it turns out probably they're like maybe an 8 or a 9. If they're even bad, I would only rate them like maybe a 5 or a 6 because it's still a genre and a category, like a style that I like, right? So people in general are going to search out the stuff that they want to see. So that's why you can see Danny's found some masterpieces. A lot of stuff was really excellent. These are kind of the middling ones at 8 and 7, which is still good, but then it's worse. Yeah, it's like 3s, 5s, just a few here. And you can even see, like, look at this to contrast. Like, for Joey, he spent almost all of his time watching 7s and some 8s. For me, I've spent all my time watching 7s and, like, some 6s and 8s. But Danny spent almost all of his time watching 7, 8, 9. And even then, like, his 10s are higher than any of these others. So he's, spending his time in, like, a good way for himself. Now, if I look at Eddie's here, who's rated only 26, so this is going to be a little bit looser, but it's kind of the same as Danny's. Like, the 8s and 9s are, he's watching stuff he likes. At worst, he's finding stuff that he only rated a 7, so it was still good. He still spent the right kind of time on the right kind of show. And but you can see most of his stuff is unrated. That's why the graph is a little sparse. Now, Connor is a champion of the people. This absolute Chad has no 10s out of 10s. Connor has yet to be impressed by a true masterpiece. He's also lucky that he hasn't seen something absolutely abhorrent, down in the 1s and 2s. But yeah, look at this. His is still like normally distributed, more or less, with, again, watching more stuff that he liked because he probably was looking for stuff that he liked or got good recommendations of good stuff to watch, But hasn't like thrown his hands up and said, wow, this is like basically the show can't be any better. But, even looking at the few of us so far, like, actually, Danny has only 1 10 out of 10. Eddie has a 5. Let's see, Joey has 3, and I have 4. So, yeah, Connor has no 10s out of 10s, pretty normal other than that. And, of course, like I said, people want to watch stuff that's good. Like, for me, I even sorted by, like, the top rated of all time and tried watching a bunch of those. So, like, they're probably going to be pretty good already, so that's going to skew these positively no matter what. But if Connor was our the hero we need but don't deserve, maybe we'll shield our eyes because look at this fucking monster of a graph here. Joe's out here killing it. I mean, it's called My Anime List. Like, you do what you want with you make what kind of list you want, right? So I want to make it like where it's more normal, and I know all these different data things and like all these data things, so the numbers mean different things to me than it does to someone else. So when we look at Joe here, you can see like massive amounts of 8s, 9s, 10s, 7s. Again, are like the worst. 6 is like bad, right? And out of 115, there's a 1 5, 1 3, and 1 2. So these are basically outliers at that out of 115. So the absolute worst of the worst is still above average, and then it just gets better and better from there with 21 absolute masterpieces. And you can see the same thing here based on those scores. Like, he's really liking what he's watching. Like, compare that to mine and Joey's again. Like, 7 is good, right? But look at Joe spending time on like masterpieces that I'm not spending as much time on. So I guess I'm jealous. And now finally, Kevin. So remember, again, Kevin watches a lot of movies. So in a 2-hour movie, finding something that really speaks to you, first seeking something that speaks to you and getting recommended because it speaks to a lot of people, then liking it yourself is kind of a lot more in line with movies than anime, like the full series. So Kevin has a ton of masterpieces here, and maybe I'll have to dig back through his list and find and catch those 10s. Oh, hello. Thanks. Cowboy Bebop. Okay, Ponyo. The Wind Rises. Yeah, a lot of Studio Ghibli, right? A lot of, yeah. So a lot of Studio Ghibli, which makes sense. Obviously, those movies are phenomenal, and I like a lot of them as well. But Kevin likes movies more than I do. So when I say I like the Studio Ghibli movies, they're like 7, maybe an 8 for the best ones. But for Kevin, they're some of these, 9s and 10s. Interesting thing. Look at Kevin has like 7 is one of his lowest actually ratings compared to literally everyone else. Like 7 is the highest, second, third highest for Joe, but highest. Second highest. So interesting that Kevin has it as like his 4th highest here, even less, like way less than 10s, way less than these. But then like the bottom half of his graph is completely normal, like the number of 6s, 5s, 4s, 3s. That's like it's picture perfect of a normal graph basically. So yeah, just Kevin found a lot of good shit and liked it a lot. Now then, history we don't have to worry about, like how frequently people watch stuff. Next, we're going to go down to favorites, which kind of gives like categorical breakdowns rather than numerical breakdowns. There's, with these numbers, we can say like 7 is higher than 6, but for categories, you can't do that. So that's where this is interesting to me. This graph isn't so interesting to me. This is like the years of anime that you liked more and less. To me, this graph is only useful if you've seen something like maybe 200 anime, because like look, it goes back to the 80s, but like, you know, I've seen like one thing from the 80s, one thing from the 90s, you know, one, and then it's just kind of all over the place. So it's the same for basically everyone else. Like you're going to see kind of the same thing. I mean, maybe for someone like Joe who's seen a lot, you can see a slightly positive trend, but yeah, like look at all these jumps, you know. So it's hard to say. But what is cool to me is the pie chart down here. So do you remember before I was saying that Kevin has watched a lot of movies, for example? Literally half of his anime list is movies, and the other half is TV. And I mean, there's a few like specials and things down here. So half is movies, half is TV shows. And then for me, I've watched maybe 25%, yeah, 27% of movies, but then half of my list, more than half of my list is still TV. So for Joey, yeah, he's watched mostly this with like some specials and web shows. Yeah, Danny, same thing. It's even less movies this time. Eddie has watched actually no movie, one movie here, and it's just all anime basically. Same for Connor. You know, these guys they're just watching the anime and put the anime on there. Joe's watched a whole lot of everything and has like a totally like, yeah, this is like the flawless distribution to me of like how much of these things you'd watch. Like he's watched some specials of stuff, he's watched a good amount of movies, but mostly it's the anime. And we already talked about Kevin. So what else did I want to talk about here? Great. Here's the genres, right? So the thing is, if you go by count, you're gonna see technically I've watched like this many comedies. Or like let's go to Joe's, who's seen a lot of shit. If you go through this count, like, yeah, Joe's watched 69 comedies and 66 action, but like on Mal, they have like everything will have like 5 categories or something. So like if there's a single fight scene in it, then it's action. Or if there's like, you know, some laughs here and there, then it'll be comedy. Like Avatar, for example, would be comedy because like Sokka makes jokes, you know, but is it a comedy? No. So everything has like a bunch of stuff. Like you could see here, remember Joe's seen 211 shows, I think, and there's already way over 200 in this. So what they do from there is they give the mean of the genre. So you can see, like, I've watched one police show, and my mean for police shows is a 10. But then they kind of weight it based on the number of things that you've seen. So, like, do I love police shows the most? Well, I've only seen one. So, like, you kind of lose, like, I just got lucky this one time. So by going by the weight of, like, how many I've seen versus how much I've liked it, we can get the overall top 5. So my overall top 5, I like psychological, thriller, supernatural, sci-fi, and mystery. Yeah, I think that's great. I like stuff like Death Note, Death Parade, No Game No Life, like all of these, you know, exciting and like intense, like thought-provoking shows, you know, where there's not a lot of action, even though the thing I've seen the second most is action. If we go by weight, like if we go all the way down, you know, let's see. Action, I mean, it's kind of in the middle. I actually do really hate slice of life, as you can see. I hate ecchi, I hate kids. I don't like parodies so much. I mean, I haven't seen that many of these different categories, but you can see like the mean is even lower than the weighted stuff. So I don't like fantasy either. Obviously that's a huge category, but I've really enjoyed I've really disliked the kind of, if you take like a Venn diagram of all the shows that happen to have fantasy, you know, the fantasy is kind of the overlap that I didn't like. But meanwhile, if something is fantasy and drama, you know, I like the drama part, but not the fantasy part, which is so cool for this to figure out. If you guys know or care about this, here's people's favorite studios. I mean, I don't know about this. You can take a look on your own. So if we go by Joey, sorted by weight. Actually, I think, yeah, this is it for everyone. Wow. He most likes drama, historical, adventure, psychological, and space. Shout out to Alien Space School. Most hates romance, yaoi, ecchi, hentai. Harem is down here, right? So Joey's talking about how much he hates all these harem anime and that's funny, for Alien Space School, he actually doesn't really like school very much. And I mean, of course, this is based on the shows you have seen that have this category and the ways that they overlap. So anyway, Danny mostly likes, again, he's watched different amounts of these. Like mostly it's shonen for Danny, but he mostly likes sci-fi, drama, military. I mean, this is kind of loose for Danny. It's not very strong, but he also doesn't like fantasy. He doesn't like game, but for me, I'd imagine game is very high. Where is it? Oh, it's not that high. It's about in the middle. Yeah, but you can see for me, like in time, you know. No, actually, I guess the game shows I watch are short. Anyway. So, who's next? Going to Eddie. He likes supernatural, comedy, mystery, romance. and doesn't like military magic, sci-fi. So yeah, interesting. Really doesn't like action actually, and also doesn't like hentai. Damn, but yeah. So that's interesting. That for me, where like sci-fi and supernatural is pretty high, for Eddie it's a little lower. I know supernatural obviously is the top one, but now for Connor. Oh, I scrolled too far. So Connor really likes school shows, stuff like My Hero Academia. We've been watching together, and there's actually like probably 4 of these are My Hero Academia, right? Seasons 1, 2, 3, 4. So like half of them is My Hero, which he liked. So based on that, they have kind of a good sample size because he's watched all of the seasons of My Hero so far, and he liked all of the seasons of My Hero. So that's why this ends up on the top. He's also enjoyed the comedy and superpower stuff. Like again, I said he watched a lot of My Hero. Now it's double the sample size, but yeah, he liked the superpower, and he actually likes the game even more than me. But I thought that was one of my favorite categories. And let's see, he dislikes adventure, drama, demons, horror, supernatural. Interesting that Connor doesn't like supernatural, but for me and Eddie, we liked it a lot. Yeah, and adventure is the lowest one. Whereas adventure for me? No, I want to go by weight. Yeah, very low as well. But yeah, supernatural is the highest, and for Connor, it's very low. Now for Joe, this one's going to be a really like reasonable list because of the weights. Now, so he most likes drama, which is actually interesting to me because I had imagined that Joe, Joe likes fighting and action and stuff like that. But of the dramas that he's seen, he's really liked them and like the drama aspects that overlap anyway. But then of course there is supernatural and mystery. So I don't know what seinen means. Okay, that just redirected me to the same website. From the genre. Seinen. Going on an adventure today. I don't know what this is. Seinen. We're gonna learn something today. Of older teenage boys and adult men. Oh, okay. So it's like if shonen is for like middle school, early high school, then seinen is like end of high school into college and beyond. So yeah, I guess like adult, like yeah, more adult anime. Yeah, like I could see Durarara and stuff like that. But then Naruto is still here. I guess I don't understand, but anyway, so demons and magic and stuff like that, and then the lowest. Get this out of here. The worst, yeah, he doesn't like parody either. He doesn't like historical or romance, even superpower stuff. Oh, and doesn't like comedy. For a lot of us, comedy is, well, I guess in the middle. Yeah, comedy, I guess, is about in the middle. Interesting. So yeah, and then the last is Kevin. So remember, half of this is movies, but going by his, so he likes adventure, sci-fi, drama. This is a lot in a lot of movies, right? A lot of movies are this adventure, like especially Studio Ghibli. It's these people going on a mission somewhere for some reason, and he's liked those the most as well. So that kind of adds up, and that's why by looking at all the data like this and kind of making this video I'm having a lot of fun with, we get to see kind of the patterns, like the underlying explanations for this data. Because if you look at adventure, you're like, oh, whatever. But because we said, hey, half of these are movies, and of the movies and the rating, he loved the Studio Ghibli movies. So now it kind of puts all the pieces together for us. Actually, has really liked Dementia. I'm interested to see what kind of category that is. And dislikes mystery. For a lot of us, mystery is up top. For me, yeah, it's in my top 5, top 6 for Joey. Mystery, yeah, in the middle for Danny. Top 3 for Eddie. Connor doesn't like mysteries, I think. No, it's still in the middle. So, oh, here it was for Joe. Yeah, second to the last one. So, yeah, Kevin actually hates mysteries along with Joe. So that's a cool statistic anyway. And like thriller, supernatural. So, Kevin enjoys like maybe, yeah, but still psychological is up here with drama. So Kevin enjoys, I guess, compelling, adventures and, some stuff that's thought provoking, but not shit that's crazy. Maybe some of us like more of that crazy shit. Great. So maybe, this one isn't as, we're not going to do like an analysis or anything. I'm just curious what our recommendeds are, because on Mal, there is a recommended section. Like if you go to an anime, you can see the anime that other people recommend the most for like related to that one. And they kind of give explanations, and everyone can even give like a whole like write up of what they recommend and why. But that's not like specifically curated for you. So here's my recommendations. I thought this one, I don't know if they're ordered or like ranked. I would maybe imagine they are. But for something like this, I find it funny that they recommended something from 1992 and there's like Jesus is on this thing. There's a guy like crucified. I don't know what's going on here, but it thinks I would like it and I wonder why. Some of these do seem interesting. Like, also, this doesn't even factor in stuff that's on your like plan to watch list. So I actually added some stuff to my plan to watch because of this. So actually, this is not super updated, but yeah, some of these like I don't know, like comedy school. Yeah, but this one like mystery, psychological thriller. So like here's like a drama thing of like political bouts, I guess, and like yeah, here's some like seinen, like adult, mystery stuff and weird stuff going on. Yeah, so that's my list. But again, mine is a little different. For Joey, recommends like Howl's Moving Castle, Lupin that Joe really likes. Let's see what else. Yeah, I'm just gonna click through these quickly. So an interesting pick from Joey's. There's a kind of a lot of different categories here, but Joey has watched a lot of different categories. For Danny, let's see. Yeah, a lot like I don't know, more like fighting and popular stuff like Rurouni Kenshin, Elfen Lied, like a lot of episodes, and then some stuff like maybe this movie that he'd like. Your Lie in April, which is a music one that I really like. For Eddie, I actually don't know almost any of these. Danganronpa, a fun like mystery of like high schoolers. Darwin's Game, yeah, I don't know these. Yeah, we'll just go quick. Connors, let's see. Some of these like Gurren Lagann type things, like Promare and like these Gundam things. Cowboy Bebop, of course. Spirited Away, I feel like everyone should see this one. I haven't seen it in a long time, so it's on my plan to watch as well. Or like I have to rewatch it. Let's see, for Joe, yeah. Oh, this is like the slime, so what if I'm a slime or whatever it's called with like a full sentence question mark and some more Gundam. Yeah, so Trigun, kind of fitting in this seinen with Joe, I guess. And for Kevin, hopefully it recommends movies. Yeah, let's see how good of a job it does. Movie. So almost half of these are movies. But then, yeah, recommend Space Dandy, like off Cowboy Bebop. Madoka Magica, interesting. The rest of these, I don't know. So anyway, that's about it. And what I thought would be funny is to go through these achievements real quick, because there's two really great ones that I'll just point out quickly. Actually, did I look at Kevin's? Yeah. So you can see all of us have the... wait, I'll start with Joe's. Where was the fun one? Oh, no, it was Ian's who I didn't end up going with. Never mind. So you can see there's like this one called Saint that like Puritan, oblivious, you're innocent, and went through no man's land without looking at a single bra. And you'll see that everyone has it. Joe has it here. Connor has it. I have it. Joey has it even. Oh, but Joey even has the one. Here it is. That's what I was remembering. Feels weird, man. You watch the Boku no Pico. That's what you get for following A. But Eddie's is great. He has the Hentai Overlord, and he's our hero, yeah, and that's perfectly in line with the band's character anyway. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. There's some cool breakdowns of, like, how do you think of shows that you've seen, and how does your way of, like, thinking about your rankings compare to our friends? What kind of, like, categories and types of shows do we like watching, and what's kind of the overlaps between us, and the breakdowns of the different categories, and... yeah, then we had some fun with the little recommended and the hentai at the end. So with that, that's it. See you on the list.